Hello, this is Less is More Healthy. I'm Les, and this is vlog number 56. It's crazy. I'm getting up there to vlog number 60. I'm pretty happy about that. I am in a parking lot where I've been before. I'm on my way home from my coffee date with my friend out in Ipswich. There's this little cafe that I really love out there. They do a great job. They roast their own coffee. They do pour overs. They used to do AeroPress. I didn't see if they were doing that today. But they also have regular drip coffee. They've expanded their space. It's cute. It's like my favorite kind of hipster cafe, or it reminds me a lot of Tandem up in Portland, Maine, or Speckled Axe. Like, just really great coffee, really great service, and it's just like a nice space. So my initial plan was to ride my bike out to Little Wolf. And I was telling my friend about riding my bike out there. And he's like, "Oh, what route are you going to take out there?" And I told him which route the Google Maps gave me. I was like, that's super unsafe. And he's been cycling in this area for a lot longer than I have. And cycling longer distances than in this area than I have for a very long time. And so today I drove the route that Google Maps suggested to me. And what I found is that I think there have been a lot of changes since he's tried to ride that route. There are ample wide shoulders on a lot of the route. It's pretty well traversed, but I think if I did it in the morning, it would be fine. Even if I, on my way home this afternoon, I saw cyclists. So I'm not as worried about it as he was. So I'm definitely going to try that route. Coming up, I think next weekend, I'm going to try it on my day off. We're going to see how it goes. It's a good, I think 12 or 14 mile trip. And that's a good length for me to be practicing, to try and get 12, 14 miles in one way. So it would be 24 miles minimum in the opposite direction coming home. So we're going to see. We're going to see how it is, how I respond to it, and if it's doable. It's a pretty flat route with a little bit of hills here and there. Nothing big, nothing major, mostly flat. So yeah, I am excited about that. A thing that I've noticed in my exercise over the last couple of weeks is that, so generally speaking, when I do my exercise, I'm trying to do, anywhere between a mile to 3 miles. The guy is leaving now. The guy arguing in his car is leaving now, and he's still arguing. He's rolling off and still arguing with the person. Who has the time for that? Yeah, so I try to do a mile to 3 miles every day, but there are some days where I haven't been able to do that. So last week, for 3 of the 5 days that I exercised, I did 2 to 3 miles, which I think is like a pretty good sweet spot in terms of like exercise for my body and myself. But 2 of the days of exercise that I did were about half a mile. And the thing that I'm noticing with those half-mile walks is that they are not as effective as they used to be. There was a point, especially in the beginning, where half-mile walk, stabilized my blood sugar for the rest of the day, that I would work up a sweat, my heart rate would increase, and they were pretty effective. But now, a half-mile walk, I don't break a sweat, my heart rate barely increases. I'd have to be running it at this point for it to increase my heart rate. So they're just less effective. I also noticed that if I'm doing a half mile, that it's not stabilizing my blood sugars for the rest of the day like it used to. So, the half mile is absolutely helpful and necessary, but it's not enough. If I want to continue getting fitter and healthier, it's not as effective. So I noticed that. I noticed it's not as effective, and I have been kind of like realizing I have to do a minimum of a mile now. And I'm probably going to get to a point where I have to do 2 miles as a minimum. If I want to continue using walking as a form of exercise for getting healthier. And keep in mind, we're not talking about weight loss here. We're talking about like my physical fitness. Weight loss is a secondary bonus of getting healthier. So like I said, like it's less effective than it was. So I realized that I need to walk more to continue to maintain my current level of fitness. So I realized I got to get up a little earlier and I've got to leave for work a little earlier so that I can continue getting fit. And I'm kind of resentful of that. I'm kind of irritated with the fact that I need to get up earlier. I need to walk more. And it's kind of irritating, cause I don't want to get up earlier. I'm hoping that if I'm getting up a little earlier, I'll be tireder earlier. It's this whole, like, I'm resentful of the things that I have to do to keep my body healthy. And it's not a big deal, right? You know, like getting up 30 minutes earlier is not a huge deal. It's just kind of a pisser. So that's the thing. In order to find the time, I'm going to get up a little earlier so I can do this stuff. And so that's another like thing that I've been thinking about lately is walking just a transitional activity for me and my body? Do I need to find another activity that it has a little higher cardio value than walking? Walking's great, but if I'm going to have to spend more and more and more time walking, how do I increase the intensity of the walk, so that it's more beneficial? So one of the things that I have found is that I am thinking about like hills. So I had this realization yesterday as I was walking through the park. So I walked through this beachfront park, and one end of the park has a hill. It's not a particularly steep hill, but it is a hill. And I recognized as I was going up it increased my heart rate. And I was sweating a little bit at the end. And maybe that is a thing that I need to incorporate into my walks, is a hill here or there. And that's a thing I noticed over at the Willows, which is mostly flat, but there are little hills here and there throughout it that kind of kept me on my toes, if you will. So that's the thing that I'm thinking about. Do I keep a 1 mile walk, but add hills into it? Add some sort of like intensity into it. And this occurred to me as I was walking that hill, yesterday in the park, because I saw a woman using the same hill I was walking up. She was running up it. And it was clear she was using it to build intensity, because she then, she was checking her heart rate meter and, the thing that runners do, and then doing a cool down, then running down and running back up. And I know people use stairs for that kind of thing. So maybe it's a matter of me adding hills and stairs into the mix. So I'm just kind of thinking about that. Also thinking about the transitionalness of walking as a transitional activity to cycling and riding my bike in general. Walking is not just a transitional activity. So I think I will obviously be continuing my walks, but I need to increase their length and their intensity. So it might be that I go out on a trail. I go hiking on the weekends to increase that intensity. But then I've got to also figure out how, if I'm doing that on the weekends, how am I building my biking into that? I don't know. It's like this kind of struggle that I'm having. I have these two forms of exercise that I want to do, and they're getting in the way of one another. And I need to find some sort of balance in that, and also, integrating the two in a way that's seamless for me. So like, I'm going to continue walking in the mornings, in some cases, but once I start riding my bike to work, I won't need to walk in the mornings because I'll be getting my exercise in the form of the bike ride to work. Yeah. So that's just the kind of thing that's like on my mind right now, is that I need to walk more. And once I start cycling, once I build that capacity up to do 10 miles each way, separated by an 8-hour day, that, I won't need to walk. But then once fall hits, I got kids again, I'm going to need to walk more. But is a 1-mile walk in the morning going to be enough for my body at that time? I bet it's not going to be. Half mile is not going to be enough. Ooh, that guy's speeding. You probably won't be able to see it because I'll have it, something over the video. So anyway, those are the things that are on my mind, like walking as a transitional activity, building up my cardiovascular health so that I can ride a bike for 10 plus miles each way. Finding safe cycling routes, is something that I'm scoping out as I'm riding into work. I'm looking at the, various, bike lanes as I'm traveling in. I'm looking to see if there are other cyclists on the road, and what that kind of looks like. So I'm also talking to my friends about like the bike routes that they use in the area. It's a lot. I feel like everything is a lot right now when it comes down to like taking care of my physical health. I'm getting a little resentful of all of the things that I need to do to take care of my health. Yeah, I'm just like, there's a lot there. And, with that, I'm going to pack this up and I am going to head home, where I'm going to put on some bike shorts, drag my bike out of the garage, and then I'm going to go for a bike ride. We're going to see how long it ends up and if I, overdo it again. We'll see. And with that, I thank you for watching these silly little videos that I'm putting together that are keeping me accountable by relaying to you all of the things that I'm doing to keep myself healthy. And I appreciate you for being here and helping keep me accountable. If you need to help yourself keep accountable, write comments in the comment section and boost one another up. I'm going to hype you up if you are doing something to keep yourself healthy or work on your health. And again, I appreciate all of your comments. I appreciate your subscriptions. I appreciate the thumbs up. All of that stuff. I appreciate you just watching this. And hopefully you have found this helpful. And thank you. And I'll see you next time.